And we are live, I do believe. And waiting to see who joins. Hey, everybody. How are you? And by everybody, I mean, like maybe one person. Me, So, one of the things I can do, hopefully, with the chat and the comments that come across the different platforms is I can show and hide those questions. So, David Patterson, I am doing well. I'm glad to hear that you are. Alex, good to hear from you. Hello, and good evening. So this is pretty cool. I'm glad to see that there are some options here in. So if you didn't see my tweets, I am testing out Streamyard. I'm trying to learn, this new thing, streaming and improve the quality of my streams and get better at doing these things. And so I love geeking out about technology, and this is yet another opportunity to learn and geek out about some stuff. So this is your opportunity, and cool. I can see that comment coming in from YouTube, and I've seen some comments coming in from Twitch. This is really awesome. So now's your opportunity. If you want to ask me any questions about my setup, my gear, the streaming that I do, Node.js, JavaScript, drawing, illustrations, anything and everything, I'd love to hear any questions that you have. All right, so what gear do I have for streaming? We'll start with that question. Man, where to even start? I've had some folks over the last month or so, anytime I get on a Zoom call or a chat with someone, is, hey, your camera looks great, or, your audio sounds good. What do you have? What are you doing? Well, let me tell you, getting into this technology has been a slippery slope. I don't know if you're familiar with the children's book, Give a Mouse a Cookie, but that pretty much summarizes my journey so far of getting into improving the sound and audio, or the audio and the video quality of my streaming and the recordings that I do, the tutorials that I create for my company. And so to kind of sum up the gear that I'm using a DSLR camera. It's a Panasonic Lumix G7, and that is mounted on a kind of a boom thing off of my Visa monitor mount. And so it's, sitting just right above my monitor right up here. And that runs into a ATEM Mini using the HDMI output. I have an ATEM Mini video switcher where I can switch between cameras. I have a Focusrite audio interface where I have a couple of shotgun mics that are up here right out of frame. And that's how I'm getting my audio, and that audio goes through the Focusrite. The output of the Focusrite is going into my camera so that the audio will be in sync with the video, which then comes again to the ATEM Mini. And then the ATEM Mini presents itself to the computer as a webcam. So getting to where I am today has been quite a journey, because it's been quite a ride to figure out how all this stuff can work together. So yeah, the camera that I'm using, it's a Lumix G7, and I did buy a somewhat inexpensive lens that can give a natural bokeh effect, or bokeh. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's you see the stuff behind me is a little bit blurred out. So that's the camera that I'm using. What else can I answer for you folks? I hope you're having a great day. This is Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, 4:30 for me. What time is it where you are? So the question is, how did I get into all this? Well, I guess it goes back to me being in technology, in the developer community. I do. I speak at a lot of tech events, and have been wanting to do more audio and visual. The team that I'm on, I work for a company called Octa. We do security, and we have developer products. And as part of that, being on that team, we produce a lot of content. We write blog posts and video tutorials, and so I was already starting to get into improving the quality of the tutorials that I create for YouTube, our YouTube channel. And when like COVID and all this stuff happened, I just went full-on geek mode into learning about streaming and audio and visual, and it's been a nice thing to focus on, during this pandemic, and getting to learn about all these things. I was very fortunate that someone that I work with, Aaron Parecki, he has a great YouTube channel where he does reviews on cameras and video switching gear and all things related to recording and streaming. So he was a great resource to help point me and others of us on the team in the right direction. But a lot of this I've had to learn. What about lighting? I do have one big key light up here to my right, this direction. So you see that kind of coming down on my face. That's just an LED box light that I picked up on Amazon, actually maybe 2 years ago, when I was starting to get into doing more recording from home. And then I have I think I paid maybe 25 bucks for this blue LED light that I have pointed at the wall behind me to give just a background effect, that's common you see on, in other videos and YouTube streamers and things like that. Applewood, cherry, pecan. Well, I do have an opinion on this, and my favorite is pecan smoked. Applewood, hickory, cherry, they're all good. It's all bacon. Bacon's fantastic. But my personal favorite, my go-to, is Wright's Pecanwood smoked, which I'm not 100% sure, but they might not be making it anymore. I've been having trouble finding it. So my next choice would be either hickory or applewood. So pecan all the way. Yep, I am in North Georgia myself, about an hour and a half north of Atlanta. So good to connect with you. I let's see. According to Streamyard, I have 5 people viewing. Let me just curious. I'm gonna pull up YouTube and see what it says. It says that there's a couple people on here. And pull up Twitch. And Twitch is reporting 3 people. So I guess StreamYard is giving me the right data, which is really cool. Tail Learn Code. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So I have these. I'm brand new to StreamYard. I literally created this overlay like 30 minutes ago and slapped it on here just to give myself, to try out, the branding. And there's other things I can do, like, hey, I can show a banner. Ask me anything. I can create other banners like pecan and have it as a marquee. Pecan smoked bacon. It's awesome. So the question is, what do I like about working at Octa? Well, that could take a while answering that, but for me, I love being in the role that I'm in. So I am a developer advocate for Octa. I work with our developer relations team to produce content, blog posts and video, and also I'm not traveling right now, which is great. I like going places. I like going to events, but I don't like the travel itself. But part of my role is to go and speak at conferences and meetups and things like that. So, but Okta itself, what I like about Okta is I've come to really appreciate the culture and the opportunity that is at Okta. The company is doing well. I have a lot of respect for the leadership in Okta. The team that I'm on is fantastic. The people that I get to work with, they have done such a great job of empowering all of us to do awesome things, and they're always looking to improve. And we're making some big changes at Okta to help improve our products and our platform, and they're giving us a lot of freedom and power to do that. And I just think the opportunity at Okta is really great, and I'm excited to be there. Very, very grateful and to be at a company that's doing well through this time and this challenging time. Yeah, so Okta is a pretty cool place to work. What else can I answer for you folks? Let's see. Well, one thing I can tell you about while you're thinking about questions to ask me is recently I did a drawing for. Well, let me back up. So I am also a musician. I love playing guitar and other instruments. I used to live in Nashville. Lived in Nashville for close to 20 years and had opportunities to play with a lot of different people. Very grateful for the time that I spent there. So I'm a big fan of certain brands and companies. Sweetwater is a online music company that sells guitars and gear and PAs and microphones and just about anything and everything that can be connected with performance and music and things like that. So I've been a big fan of them for years. I buy most of my gear from them. Recently, or every year, they have this thing called Gear Fest, and Sweetwater is based out of Indianapolis. Um, and I've always wanted to go. I've never been, but this year, because of the pandemic, they did their Gear Fest online. So I had the opportunity and the time to catch some of the workshops and sessions that they broadcast online. And one of the interviews that they had was with the CEO of Sweetwater. His name's Chuck Surak. And I'd never heard his story before, but he gave his story about how he started the company and, from very humble beginnings, and now they're the largest online retailer. Um, they will do close to $1 billion in sales this year, which is, mind-boggling. But they're still a family-owned. He and his wife own the company, and yeah, they're in a lot of they're in control of their destiny, and they believe in treating the customer right, and which is really cool. He empowers all his sales engineers and everyone at the company to always do the right thing, and that's kind of his mantra to the company. Well, I see this interview and I'm like, man, this is really cool, and so I decided to draw, because it just stuck in my mind, and I like to draw things. So let me switch my camera over here, and I'll show you. Let's see, where did that go? It's in one of these. So I drew this thing of Chuck Surak that talks about his story. This is a quote from the interview that I watched, where he says, "Always, always do the right thing." And eventually he repeats that and he says, when you do the right thing, it'll come back to you. And part of his story is about how he was in Boy Scouts and how his first car was this VW bus, and he, drove around as a touring musician and then did recording out of this VW bus. That's how Sweetwater Sound, the recording studio, got started, was out of this VW bus. And, his primary instrument is saxophone. Anyway, I drew this. I posted on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and I also sent it to my sales rep that I have at Sweetwater. Thought he would get a kick out of it. Well, I got an email from Chuck Surak, and then later, a few days later, I get this in the mail along with a couple of other nice little gifts. But Chuck Surak, the CEO of Sweetwater, sends me this VW bus, and it's signed at the top, "David, thank you for the great picture, Chuck." Is that cool? Is that not the coolest thing? So I'm just super excited that something like that can happen still in this day and age. You do something nice for somebody, and that they do something nice back for you. So I'm a fan of Sweetwater. Any questions that I can answer for you folks that are still online with me? We can talk about. drawing, talk about coding, JavaScript, Node.js. I've already answered one question about bacon. I'm sure there's more questions about bacon. Anything you've seen me do or online, or anything that you want to know about my story. Ask me anything. Well, regardless, I really appreciate your time and the opportunity to test out Streamyard. Streamyard looks like it's pretty cool. Do I have any conferences coming up? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to point you to my website. Let me grab a link here. And this is a good test. What I just posted should go to both YouTube and Twitch. But this is a link to my speaking page that shows where I am speaking, any of my upcoming speaking engagements, and where I have spoken in the past. Now, at least for 2020, it doesn't look like I'm going to be involved in any events that are meeting in person. So in light of COVID-19 and the pandemic and social distancing and everything, it's created quite a challenge for events to meet in person. So all these are opportunities that I will be speaking online for virtual events. So August 5th, most of these are open. So if you want to catch one of these, I think some of these are like meetups and you can freely join them. Let's see, Cincinnati Software Craftsmanship. I think I am giving my talk on leadership, my leadership guide for the reluctant leader. JavaScript and Friends, I'm going to be giving the keynote for that event, and that is going to be on the past, present, and future of JavaScript. The Agile Southern California, I'm giving a talk there on Agile software delivery, some things that I learned at my previous company, Lean Kit, that does Kanban software. We were, somewhat knowledgeable on the subject of Agile software development, so I'll be giving a talk on that. NDC Tech Town is another leadership talk that I'm giving, and then in October, the Tracy Developer Meetup and All Things Open. So even though I am not traveling, I'm still staying busy with some online events, which is really cool. I really enjoy this. This has been a learning curve, but it's also a lot of fun. Anything else I can answer for you folks? Thank you. Yes, that may be my favorite talk too. I like them all, but yeah, my reluctant leader talk is something that has turned into something really special that resonates with a lot of people. Well, folks, this has been David Patterson. I hope you have a great weekend too. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you everyone that's joined the live stream. This has been really cool and a great way for me to test out this Streamyard software, and it looks like it's doing well. Looks like I can do everything that I would want to do, like even be able to stream me drawing. Chad, thank you. Thank you for putting your name and face with your handle. So that's cool. I did not know that already. So the question is, what are some of your favorite conferences outside of the U.S.? I've been to a lot of good ones, and I got to say, last year I went to DevTernity in Riga, Latvia, and that was a big highlight for the year for me. That was a really special event, and I really enjoyed meeting the folks there. Had a lot of great conversations. I had a lot of. It was a big challenge getting there. I had a lot of trouble with my flights, and it was, yeah, it was challenging. But it ended up being like the best way for me to kind of cap 2019. So DevTernity in Riga, Latvia was awesome. Man, I got to go to Perth, Australia, and let me tell you, Perth for me is kind of like the South in the U.S. That is just really good people there, down home folk who are kind and caring, and treated me really well. That was certainly a big highlight of the year for me as well. I thought, as far as like content goes, Craft Conference in Budapest was phenomenal. The speakers, the caliber of speakers that they had there, the sessions that I got to go to, the venue space was really cool. The city of Budapest is amazing. So they're all great. If you if you look through the list of places that I've been outside of the U.S., it'd be hard to say that any of them are not a favorite, because they all have special memories. They all have yeah, good things associated with them. Sometimes the travel is not so fun, but the events themselves are amazing, and that's really why I keep doing the things that I do. Hello, good to see you. Another awkward pause while I drink a beverage. Maybe you can think of another question you'd like to ask. Guess I don't need this ticker banner anymore. Well, Chad, Mr. Green, if you're still online, do you still have your Challenger, or did you upgrade your Challenger, or you got something else, something new? I'd be curious to see if you're still really happy with your car, because that is one cool car. Here's a good question. How did you start being the ambassador of awesomeness? Well, it wasn't intentional. I didn't have like some 5-year plan of being an ambassador of awesomeness. When I started getting involved in the developer community, it was just a way for me to get connected with other people. I was back in 2008. I was working from home full time, living in Nashville, and working for a company based in Dallas, Texas. And, I worked with a handful of other developers who were really smart and really great. And But I was feeling pretty disconnected, and much as I'm sure you are, if you're not used to working from home, if this quarantine and pandemic has been new to working at home for you, you may realize at some point, like, man, I don't see people. I don't, you want to get on Zoom or have some kind of interaction with folks. Even though I am really introverted, I am 100% an introvert. I still, crave, just like it. We're social creatures, and we still need to be able to connect with other people. So, 2008, 2009, I go to a conference, and I hear people saying you need to get involved in your developer community, and like, yeah, that's what I need to do. I start going to the .NET user group and a couple of other meetups in the Nashville area. And for too long, I get involved in the .NET user group. I eventually become the president of that .NET user group and helped run it for several years. And I got talked into giving a talk, and I was encouraged to give that talk at a conference. And one thing led to another, and I fell in love with being involved in the developer community. And I don't remember when it was, which talk it was, or whatever, but at some point I created a slide that said, "You don't need permission to be awesome." And I made that the final slide in that talk that I gave. And I was really surprised at how much that resonated with people. If there was one slide people were going to take a picture of and tweet about it or talk to me about it, it was that. And I latched onto that thinking, well, yeah, people need to hear that. People need to hear that, some encouragement, and um, do things that they're capable of. And so over the following years, I kind of kept building on that idea of encouraging developers to do awesome things and to make a positive impact in the community and the world and their families, and just eventually became part of, everything, the DNA of everything that I do, the DNA of the things that I talk about. And um, I want to be someone who is encouraging other folks to step out and do hard things and to take that leap of faith, or do that thing that you've always wanted to do and were too scared to do it, or didn't think you were capable of, or fill in the blank. You are capable of far more than you realize. And if I can help encourage you and help you in any way to do those awesome things, that's what I'm here for. That's part of my mission in life. Hope that answers your question. And Chad says, love the Challenger, but I ended up trading it for a Miata. Well, that's not so bad. Miatas are pretty cool. One of my sons has an older Miata, and it is pretty sweet. I ended up getting a I thought I wanted a Jeep, but I ended up getting a Mustang convertible because it has a larger back seat. I would get something like a Miata that's just a two-seater, but I wanted something that was big enough that my family, my son, could ride with me too. So cool stuff, a lot of fun. Anything else I can answer for you folks? Got 7 people online now. This is amazing. Seven people's like that threshold of, what do I do with this fame? This is awesome. I kid. I am nobody any better than anyone else. So what are some things that you geek out about? What are some things that you love to do? What kind of hobbies do you have? Like I write code and I enjoy solving problems, but I have other things, I like to draw and like to play guitars, stuff like that. So board games, yeah. A couple of my sons are really into games and have introduced us at times to things like Settlers of Catan and Ticket to Ride, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by. And you are awesome too. As a matter of fact, everyone on this stream is awesome. And I really thank you for joining and helping me to play around with these cool technologies. Well, it is a little after 5 o'clock for me, and I am we're doing a special event here tonight that I'm hosting. We're going to do some live music in our home studio, and I got some work to do to get that set up. That will be streamed on Facebook. It's not my Facebook stream, but if we happen to be connected on Facebook, I'm sure I'll reshare it. But I'm going to have to jump off here in just a moment, but I am so I love hearing these kinds of stories. I'm so glad to know that I've helped people like you pick up some things like doodling, and yeah, I doodled when I was in school, but never really, it was just a fun thing to do. And then when I got an adult and got a real job and that kind of stuff, I stopped drawing. And when I picked it up again 5 years ago, I realized, man, I should have never put it down. I should have been doing this kind of stuff all along, and it's so much fun, so awesome. So thank you for sharing that. I helped encourage you to start drawing again. Well, folks, thank you again for joining this kind of last minute random stream. And thanks, Chad. Thanks for your encouragement. I have a lot of fun drawing, and that's become part of who I am. But I want to wish everyone here a blessed day and a great weekend. I hope you are doing well. I hope you stay safe, and as always, I hope you get out there and you be awesome. Go do some awesome things, and then let me know about it. I want to hear what kind of cool things that you're doing, and if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. My DM is open on Twitter. You can reach me through my website. Reach me by email, david@reverentgeek.com. Thank you again, and hope you have a blessed day. And I'll see you again soon. I'll give you more notice next time that I'm going to be doing an Ask Me Anything. So, see you folks.